Let's rock and roll. Hello, ballers, and a bro fist to you all, for it is Monday. It's the Monday of Mondays. It is Monday, the 15th of the mighty July, where the summer heat is here, and it's here to stay for a long time, regardless of where you are, unless you're in, like, the North Pole or some shit, in which case I apologise. And how did you get internet up there, you cheeky little rascal? You're not supposed to have internet up there. It's just snow and polar bears and shit. No internet. You get 3G up there? Fuck, I bet you've got better internet than us. Why is it that, like, the supposed first world countries have the shittest internet? What's going on with that, world? You better fix it. You better fix that shit. 50,000 subscribers. 50,000 people. We can fill a fucking stadium now. We can fill a stadium. We can. We can fill a stadium. Kind of. Well, a 50,000 seater stadium. 50,000 seats. 50,000 of you. Good to watch the Preacher Man. What a journey. We're just talking then as I do my absolute best to remember people. I really do. And there's a real transition of community between, like, people who post on YouTube. They call me horrible names. Hi. And then the people who kind of join in live chats and stuff. I know not everybody can join because you're asleep in parts of the world or you're working and things like that. I apologise, but you know what I mean? I've got to fit it into my day somewhere. Somewhere in the world, people are sleeping. I can't really help that, you know. I do my best. I do my best. And I try to remember everybody. And we see a lot of the names stick around and stuff. And we just see this in the chat. It's people here from, like, 2011. How many subscribers did I have in 2011? 1,000? Less? 500, maybe? 500? Something like that? What a fucking journey. Now I'm here. We're having a baby. We've got a fucking whole studio thing set up here. We've got all this swag stuff going on. I speak to you guys every day. I was still working then. You know what I mean? I was still working, and I used to... Who remembers me recording myself driving for, like, I don't know, 4 hours? I'd have some work job to do. For those of you who don't know, my previous job was everything your dad wants you to be, more than likely. Everything your parents want you to be. A young, successful businessman. That's what I was. I was that guy. I did everything that I was supposed to do, right? I got huge amounts of grades in high school. I went on to college and did an extra lesson, so I got 4 fucking quality A-levels in mathematics and further mathematics. I know, surprising, right? Downhill planes, I know all about that. I do, I do. Mechanical math, I'm your man. I am your man. I know all about this shit, and I never use it. I never use it. But I did that, right? I fucking did that stuff. And then I went on to university. Because, of course, you can't do university and be successful. You have to go to university, Mike. Mike, what are you doing with your life? You've got to go to university. You've got to get yourself in £30,000 worth of debt. I don't know how it works in other countries, but in the UK, when I went to university, it cost me £30,000. £34,764. To be exact, that's how much it cost me to go to university. Most useless shit ever. I'm not kidding. I did international economics, man. Yeah, I was going to be a jet setter, fucking flying across the world like a boss. I was going to be that kind of guy. I was going to go between, like, China and fucking Switzerland, and I was going to talk about all kinds of stuff. How to maximize efficiency in your stores, and how to do your product placement, and how the actual economics of the fucking world up and upside down and all that shit. I was loving it. I was going to be suited and booted. But then something really weird happened. My father, who's sadly dead, my father was an awesome guy. He was also what's called a landlord. For those of you who don't know, a landlord is a guy who runs a pub. If you know about the UK, we have a lot of pubs. Pubs are where we go to get drunk. If the sun is out, even for a microsecond, it is your British duty. Your British duty to remove your shirt, go to a pub, into what's called the beer garden, and drink excessively until you start arguing with your significant other in the street. That is your task as a British man. If there is a slight raise in temperature, the shirt must be off. Bikinis must be worn. I did see a 6-year-old girl wearing a bikini just yesterday. Shit happened, man. It was legit. And then get to the beer garden and start discussing soccer and important issues of the day, such as the soccer commentator, who's apparently a racist, or a sexist or whatever the fuck he did. All that kind of shit and get drunk. When I invited a member of my old guild, Kill Count Lost, Mr. Erebus, the guild raid leader, main tank, better tank than me, fuck you, over to my home, he told me that his Greek mother, and we all, well, if you've ever dealt with the Greeks, I'm sure there's plenty of Greeks in the chat as well. If you've ever had the classic Greek mother, they provide you with all kinds of warnings and food. That is all a Greek mother appears to do, is to speak of demons and natural things that will cause you harm in the future. And cause you dangerous things that will corrupt you in the future, and food, and to fill your belly with varieties of cooked lambs inside of leaves and things like that, and all sorts of great stuff. And his only warning about coming to see me from his mother, he said, I'm going to meet this British man. I'm going to meet him over in the UK. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to say hello. I'm going to stay at his house, and we're going to raid. We're going to play computers, which he did. His only warning is that be careful of him. He will try and get you really drunk. And that was it. That was the only warning that his Greek mother could bestow upon him about coming to spend some time with a British man. Ironically enough, I tell you the truth, is when we picked him up in sunny Birmingham, which is where we had to pick him up, we were driving to the pub to have some lunch and a beer to welcome him. When he told us this, me and Mr. Ghost sat in our car. I was driving a wonderful Audi A8, I believe at the time. A wonderful 4-litre vehicle. Got all my swag on from my job. Drove all the way down here. We were driving to a pub to have a beer and discuss and eat food. And he was like, oh, my mother warned me that you would probably try and get me to drink and stuff. And we were like, no, turn the fucking car around and drive the way home. And that was my life. That was the way to go to be. But as I said, my father was a landlord, which means he ran pubs very successfully, I might add. My dad was extremely successful at what he did at running pubs. He ran a show. He made being a landlord into a show. And this is where I first discovered about sort of kind of trying to entertain people in some fashion and the positive results you can get from that. It's people are generally happy to tune in or to come and see you or to do whatever and chat with you. Then you get really good things. And my father's pubs were ridiculously successful. To the point where the people who owned the breweries actually started to kick him out. Now you might think, why would they kick someone out who's successful? My dad had a deal, which was that he would pay rent to the brewery for the use of their pub, and the profits would be his. Simple enough. They would get guaranteed rent, he would get the profits. Because he was so successful and the profits were huge, they kicked him out. That's what they did, and they put a manager in who was on a salary instead. And this happened 6 or 7 times, I might add. 6 or 7 times. And each time those pubs went instantly downhill after my father left. My father wanted me to go on and be a big businessman. He wanted me to go and do what was technically the right thing to do. And I did it. I did it by 25, I want to say. By 25, I was a manager of a number of people. I had my own company car. I had everything going my way. I was driving to London and Scotland to deal with all these people on a regular basis. All very proper and actually very good for an early age to be in that position. Earning nice money, doing things correctly. Bored to fucking death. Oh my god. Bored to death. Hated it. Hated the whole thing, the whole fucking lifestyle, man. Staying in shitty hotels on my own, speaking to Emma. I was like, yo, I want to come home, play some computer games. This is fucking boring. Bored to tears, man. Hated it. Hated the whole fucking thing. It's just not for me. University, hated it. Doing that job, hated it. But what I did love was my part-time job. My part-time job, which was working in a bar. I eventually managed that bar. And just talking to customers. And people used to come in and come to the bar when I was working. So wait, when's Mike working? When's Mike working? Oh, he's working on Sunday morning. Oh, cool. My Sunday mornings were immense. My Sunday mornings. Nobody wants to get drunk at 12 o'clock, right? You do if Mike's working. I had music blasting. I was chatting to people. I had super clean and all that kind of stuff. That was my favourite job. Forget all the cars, forget the money and all that kind of shit. It wasn't great money, no one was rich or anything, right? But we did all this kind of stuff and everything was kind of taken care of and things were looking good. Shit. Crappy bar job, £4 an hour. Best time ever. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And that's when I knew this shit ain't for me. Let's go and do something like this. And here we are today. 50,000 of you here to stay. Awesome, and only going up and only going places. And an incredible time to see so many of you still here. And I really thank every single one of you. I'm glad you enjoy my stuff. Everything's still developing. A lot of people are like, I want to get into YouTube too. No doubt you do. It's awesome. It's so much fun. You get to just do kind of whatever you want, as long as you're actually producing something people want to see. You can make whatever you want. What are the problems, though? What problems have I run into? I don't know. I'm still developing my stuff. Big problem I'm having right now. So many of you don't play WoW anymore. Can we get a chat? Can we get a chat? How many of you don't play WoW anymore? I'm interested. Nope. Two. Just two of you. Left last week. Mr. Delors left. Me. Ali doesn't play. Zulazar doesn't play. I'm about to quit. I do. I don't. Quit up me. Play. Hardly ever. This is what's an interesting thing to me. I started out as the usual guy. I was lucky enough to get noticed doing WoW guys. Look at Quitters, look at all these haters. These cyberbullies, man, these cyberbullies. Still playing, not playing right now. You can see how many of you don't really play WoW anymore. Isn't that interesting? Because most people would tell you I'm a WoW-based channel. I think that's still right to a degree. We're a WoW-based channel, kind of. We started that way, doing guides and stuff. I had all this knowledge. I had all this information that I stored up over years and years. I achieved pretty much everything I wanted to do in WoW. And then you have that realization that WoW will keep going without you. Like a guild. A guild will keep going without you in most cases. You're not the integral part of it. And always chasing that next big thing, there's always going to be a next big thing. Always. So I had all this knowledge. I wanted to have fun. So I started making videos. I started making guides. I had all these classes and stuff. I did pretty well on them. I never really invested massively into every alt. I'm not one of those guys ever to have every alt geared to the teeth. No, I ain't doing that. I ain't raiding the same raid 10 times a week or 9 times a week or whatever. I'm not doing that. But what I did do is I just started making guides and was lucky enough to get noticed. And then we continued to develop because people are like, what should I do? I don't know what you should do. I really don't know. We're still really small comparatively. Of course, we're not in the millions. We're not one of those whopping great big channels. We haven't had that spark that drives you into the fame and fortune of YouTube stuff and all that kind of thing hasn't happened yet. But what we do have is just consistent growth. Anybody can check our graphs and just see whoosh, always going up, always going faster, always doing well. Really like that aspect of it. But still developing, which is why new games are needed, right? So many of you don't play WoW. You stick around because you kind of want to see what me and Ghosty and stuff produce. That's why you're there. And that's fine. And then we have to grow with that. We have to grow with our audience. Our audience is starting to move away from WoW. Sure, there's a load of new guys who are playing WoW. Right? There's a load of new guys still playing WoW, coming for guides and stuff like that. But there's so many of you like moving away from WoW. It's like, yeah, but we want you to do more stuff. We want to see more stuff. I don't mind your WoW stuff. Don't mind it at all, but we want to see a bit more stuff. K for WoW, stay for personality. Wonderful comment, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Firestar. I really like that. And Mr. Mikey Westside. Love that kind of comment, but we have to realise that as a channel too. WoW's a great starting place, and the WoW stuff will continue, at least until the end of this expansion. No problem with that. But it's moving it forward. You don't need to play WoW to understand the fun that can be had in a video like The Legacy of the Rogue, our big video last week, right? Don't need to play WoW to appreciate that, to have a laugh at it, have a giggle, have a little bit of a memory, have a little bit of entertainment from that. And that's where it's going, right? But we're still developing that. It's been a year of me doing this full time. I'm still developing my style and all that and all the problems that come in. Just before the show, I did, in fact, read an email of people who believe Drama Friday is stories that are by me. That I did those things in Drama Friday. That Drama Fridays are, in fact, tales from my past. I didn't understand that somebody had submitted that story from their past and was like, Preach, you've gone down a peg in my book. I've lost faith in you because of these horrible things you did in vanilla. I'm like, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. It's not me. It's not me. If you are going to get into broadcasting, trust me, you're never going to get a message out clearly to everybody over the internet. It's never going to happen. Don't try. And for the love of God, don't take YouTube comments seriously. Trust the guys who come and say hello and throw you an email and all that kind of stuff. They're the best. They're the best. In talks of the 50k subs, Saturday. Days are cutting out. Almost there. Saturday, web show. Me, Ghosty, trolling. Last ever Transmog Competition. Just kidding, it's the end of season. We will do it again. But it's the last regular Transmog Competition. Okay, it's the last one we're going to do for a while. Probably till the end of the expansion when we'll do a big one. It's the last one we're going to do. So if you want to get your Transmog in, and it's not quite finished, I apologise. But if you want to be in the competition and you want to see some comments, good or bad, going towards your transmog, please submit them on preachgaming.com on our forum. That is the last one we're going to be doing, which on the regular basis. Okay, we'll have special ones. It's a great idea, the transmog competition. We just don't enjoy it anymore. We need more variety in the game. The game is lackluster. Oh, did you realise that you can now buy transmog heads from the in-game store? How good's that? And they have cool animations like League of Legends. Isn't that amazing that we're moving to a style more like League of Legends? Isn't that great? It's the best. I'm so happy we're going to be more like League of Legends. I'm so happy about that. It's the best news ever. I was just saying to Ghost the other day, I wish WoW had an in-game store that was like League of Legends. I really want to do that. That sounds awesome. And anybody who emailed me about it is like, Preacher, you can't start the transmog competition now. The transmog heads are coming in. They would probably be disallowed. They would probably be disallowed. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say that. They'll probably be disallowed. I'm actually glad we're stopping the transmog competition before these heads come in. I'd hate to think that people are going out there spending money on them, and then we're like, no. Disallowing it. We're disallowing it. But also on Saturday, 8 PM, the usual web show start time, we are filming the Battle of Blackrock. I encourage you, no matter where you are in the world, if you're in America, if you're in Australia, and you Europeans, of course, to join us as this opportunity is there. People are asking, how do I get on the PTR? Simply go to your Battle.net account and download the Test Realm. It's fully available. Just click on your account and it says download Test Realm. When you go there, you'll have a choice of servers you have never seen before. There's about 5 or 6, something like that. 5 or 6 servers. I think there's 5. The server we are going to be doing it on is Brill. Brill. I'm pretty sure, now somebody in the chat might confirm this, I just wanted to double check this. You don't even need to have an active WoW subscription to be able to do this. Am I right? You just need to be able to access your Battle.net account. Could someone confirm that? Do you need an active subscription? You don't. You don't. Yes? I couldn't get a verified answer. I think they changed it. You don't? You think you do? Yeah. I don't know. Come on, Liz. You need an active sub, correct? No, you don't? Okay, nobody knows. Somebody's there going, who probably does know the right answer. It's like, God, I'm right. I don't know. I can't really tell. I'll double check that. But PTR Brill, it's 8 PM GMT. That's 8 PM London time. Can one of the guys from around the world please post the time in your local area? Really appreciate that. It's the usual web show time, okay? I'm going to do a video on YouTube. I'm going to do an update on Facebook and stuff. What I want to say is there are a couple of conditions. You can make a pre-made level 90. You don't need to copy your character over there. Of course, your transmog won't be as good. Doesn't really matter. Don't worry about it, okay? You can copy your character over if you want to. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter. You can copy it over if you want to do that. But I suggest you do that now. Sometimes they take a few days to copy over if you've never been on the test round before. Okay? 3 PM Eastern Standard Time I'm seeing there. Just Google it. You do not need a subscription. According to the chat, you do not need an active WoW account. For the so many of you out there who don't play WoW anymore, hopefully you can join us. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. The test realms are accessible by everybody. Brill. It's called Brill. B-R-I-L-L. The town outside Undercity of the same name. You will need to make a level 90 Alliance character and a level 90 Horde character. Not a monk. That's the only rule. Seriously, not a monk. Monks do not exist in the time that Way of the Warrior 2 is set. Way of the Warrior 2 is set in a certain time inside the Warcraft universe. Monks, no. You will goof up the video because I'm not going to go to the hassle of kind of kicking everybody who rolls a monk. I will just have to cut your footage, and that means that other people might get cut out. It just makes you generally a dick to do that. So just don't. Just make anything else. If you want to be in the video and do cool stuff, that's all I want you to be there for. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a really good time, okay? So all I ask is that I will start the stream about 7 PM to get people organised. Alliance guys, Searing Gorge at the bottom of the ramp. Just be in Searing Gorge. Just be at the bottom. Horde guys over in the Burning Steps. That's it. And then at a certain point we'll say, go! And all you need to do is charge it. I believe Mr. Delore, I hope, I spoke to him the other day, is organising the Alliance guys. And I wanted to ask Mr. Vanish if he could do that as well. You can change over later on. But if Mr. Delore and Mr. Vanish could be on the Alliance side, they're showing up. Awesome sauce. That includes pandas, yeah. Pandas, monks, not just monks, Pandarans. No Pandarans. Yeah, Worgen's fine. Just Pandaran monks, not Pandaran monks. Pandas or monks, anything that came in Mists of Pandaria, no. Alright? Mr. Pandaria, Pandarans, monks, no. Everything else, perfectly fine. Be whatever you want. Be a Worgen DK, be a Goblin Rogue, I don't give a shit. Just don't be a Panda and don't be a monk. Easy mode. It's going to be a fun event. It's just going to be a blast, alright? People worried about getting ganked, it's not going to be like that, okay? Anybody who did the last Battle of Blackrock, let me explain it, will say, go, you're not out to kill everybody. We're creating an epic scene. Think Gladiator. Okay? You're not out to kill anybody. You're out to create flashy spell animations. We're going to have 60 FPS, ultra all turned up. Loads of spells, warlocks summoning fucking demons from the sky. We want to see all that shit going on. And we want to see loads of people doing it. It's not about killing each other. People will die passively due to various effects. That's fine. Just run back. It's all about filling the Blackrock Mountain. The chains. We want to see the chains filled. We want the whole circle to be filled. We just want to see people battling and warring all over the damn place. Not really out to kill each other. Creating something that looks spectacular. Okay, that's what we're after. That's the magic we're trying to capture. Not Mr. Rank 1 Gladiator. Gonna pwn all you noobs. Don't care. Don't care if you're the PvP god. It's not what we're trying to do, okay? I like that you're a PvP god. Good for you. It's not what we're trying to film today. Alright? Not what we're trying to do there. Couple of things that bother me. I've got to talk about World of Warcraft a little bit. I am going to be streaming The Walking Dead episode 3 after this, by the way. Oh, such a good game. Enjoying it. Little worry about this thing, right? I've spent so many hours, done so many videos on certain things about World of Warcraft. Thank you, Mr. Harden. Thank you, Mr. Harden. About cooldowns and stuff, separating men from the boys, and it means a lot of stuff in different games too, right? You have all this nukes to fire at people, you've got all this shit to use, lining it up. Apparently, I wanted to gauge your reaction to this, apparently Blizzard doesn't like that. They don't like people lining up cooldowns to do something good, which is what makes a good player better, right? That's where you shine. It's fine that like an average player can do most of his DPS, but we still like something that makes us better. We still like to have a little bit of planning, a little bit of thought that goes into what we do as a DPSer. And apparently, we don't like that anymore. We don't like that. And that makes me really sad. And they want to change that. It's like we kind of agree. We kind of agree that lining up cooldowns shouldn't be as important. Do we agree with that? I don't think I do. I don't think I do like that. I think that's really bad. I think that really... Here's the question. Don't you think that cooldowns and trinkets are too high? E.g. a 250k Chaos Bolt, normal, going to 900k with procs. Isn't that too much? We do worry that the synergistic effects of lining up cooldowns and trinkets has grown too large. Lining up shouldn't trump everything. Shouldn't it? If someone takes the care to go, oh, this trinket's about to come off cooldown. Oh, I see what buff I've got. I see I have this situation developing. I'm just going to hold off a little second. I'm going to pop my brakes. Then I'm going to blow something up. Shouldn't that trump everything? In my opinion. That's playing well, is it not? I mean, without being too sarcastic and simplistic about this issue, that's just playing well. That's playing better than your average bear. That's what that is, in my opinion. If you're just taking a little bit of care, and instead of just, oh, it's off cooldown, premature ejaculation all over the place, instead of just slowing that son of a bitch down. Slowing that son of a bitch down and going, oh, I can see what's going on here. I can create a good situation here. I can create good, oh, I've got to cleave 2 mobs soon. Cool, I'm going to save my unused till that, and then I'm going to Bane of Havoc that son of a bitch, and then I'm going to fire off some pretty good stuff. He went on to say, personally, I think there are just too many cooldowns and trinkets. I'd rather have 1 big cooldown I use than 4 I have to line up. Well, yeah, of course you would. Because that's kind of like troll-face DPSing. It's like saying, I would rather have 1 giant laser beam than 4 machine guns. Yeah, I would rather have a nuke than 4 rockets. Well, yeah, of course you would. But if you could use your brain to turn 4 rockets into the power of a nuke, do you know what I mean? I would rather have my cooldown. So every class has the cooldown. Maybe a trinket thrown in. I just... this baffled me. It's such a minor part of what is an enormous post by Blizz regarding this. I hope 4 rocket is more flexible. Too much thought for casual players? I'm all for edging players back into the DPS stuff. You guys know that, right? I want people to go back there. I want people to feel what I felt while raiding. I want them to enjoy that experience, and I'm all for edging them back in there. And little baby steps is good. That's what we like. Little baby steps, just edging people in. Pulling away from what they could possibly achieve, though. Moving away from some of the stuff that makes things more fun. If we have one cooldown, ultimately, how do we start distinguishing players from good players from the bad? It's kind of a thing that tanks are running into, right? How do we distinguish what is a good tank? How do we do that? It's not easy. If you've... This is off topic as fuck, but I always hate... one of my biggest bugbears in World of Warcraft ever, right? You could probably try and name it, but you never will. The thing I hate most about the World of Warcraft, the thing I absolutely detest, is players trying to skip content that makes the skipping longer. If that makes sense. Like, if there is a skip to this area, it's really hard, and if it goes even slightly wrong, it's going to make the whole experience much longer and much worse. How many of you have done the Ji-Kun skip? I don't think I've ever experienced more horror than when it became a little bit of a fun to skip Ji-Kun trash in LFR. And I hate everybody who does that skip in LFR. I hate you all, because that has never been successful. That I know of. I have never seen a raid who has survived the Ji-Kun trash skip. I have seen raids come and fucking go because of people, smart people, doing the trash skip, and then proudly standing atop that podium calling everyone else a noob because they can't do it. And then it takes 25 to 30 fucking minutes for people to just get fed up and leave, or to die and go AFK. They haven't fixed it. It happened to me today. It happened to me today. That's what brought it back into my mind. But all this stuff about... Getting back on topic. That took me off topic because it happened to me today and I totally remembered it. Is taking away some of the fun. I find that stuff fun. Maybe I'm wrong though. Lining up my cooldowns, I feel like I've achieved something that maybe not everyone else has done. That maybe not everyone else is doing. That's kind of making me think a bit more about my class. Maybe enjoy my class more than anything, right? I'm enjoying myself a little bit more because I'm thinking about it. I'm actually developing a sort of relationship with my class and how it works. To take that away seems like a lack of fun almost. And it brings everybody into sort of a generic line. I mean, how far are we away from people hitting for one, and then he hits for one, and then I hit for one, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, man. This worried me. There's like fucking hundreds and hundreds of comments here that Deathgate will finally take you out of Arker's hold. Only took how many years since Wrath of the Lich King for Deathgate to take us out of the hold? Really? Now? Mr. Pandaria is when you're going to do it? The end of Mr. Pandaria, the final boss in Mr. Pandaria is when you're going to bring that in? Oh, did you... You know what we could really do? Is allow people who teleport to this place in the middle of fucking nowhere a way out. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Wouldn't it be great instead of flying to the Undercity because your Heartstone's on cooldown? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Moonglade 2. Moonglade 2. Moonglade 2. Good times, man. Good times. I want to hear your thoughts on this. It's a simple thing. I know we talked about other stuff today. I want to talk about some other stuff today. But this trinket thing, it's on MMO Champion. It's front page. I believe it was yesterday's. No, it's today's post. It's today's post on the Monday. Have a read. See what you think. And do you agree with that? Do you not even bother lining up cooldowns and trinkets? Do you think it's a hassle? Perhaps you do. Perhaps you think it's a hassle to do that. You'd rather just blow your cooldown. Do you think there's too many cooldowns? He did make the point that do paladins really need Guarding the Ancient Kings and Avenging Wrath? No, they don't, but they're too cool to get rid of, so shut the fuck up, Ghost Crawler, right? Yeah, you're going to take away Guarding the Ancient Kings, I'm going to take away your nuts. You can take away my Avenging Wrath? I don't think so, friend. I don't think so. I want to hear what you're going to say about that. We're going to end the daily there. I'm going to jump into The Walking Dead Episode 3. I'd love you guys to join in with me because it's a great story, okay? And I'll play the catch-up as soon as we start. So thank you very much for 50,000 subs. A great year of doing YouTube. I'm glad you guys are all still here. I'm glad we're growing. I'm glad things are looking good. And I'm glad you still enjoy the content. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you, guys.